Hello everyone, welcome back to ReviloPlays Ori and the Blind Forest. My save file tells me that we've completed 15% of the game so far, and I have to reorient myself. Reorient myself. That one's free. With where we are, because while you may have seen me just a couple of days ago, it's actually been a while since I played this. Now, oh, okay. I seem to remember that happening previously, so, you know, I ought to learn from my mistakes, I suppose. Now, we have this keystone. I was under the impression that we actually had another keystone from somewhere else. Was that not the case? I mean, someone's going to have to tell me if I'm just being really dumb, because I could have sworn we got a keystone somewhere along the way, and that was the second one, and we were trying to open that door. Could just be my memory failing me. So, here's the goal for today. We're going to try and talk about the game a little bit. As opposed to, you know, any anatomical decisions that may have been made for certain animals in certain other video games. You know, we do what we can. The mind goes where it goes, and that's just the way of things. Like, we don't really get to choose a lot of the time. Excuse me. I don't know how far back I have to go for this other keystone. I can't seem to get up there, so let's just backtrack and see if we can find it. You will have to bear with me slightly with this series because I've not actually, you know, I have made oh, that's a shame. I have, of course, made videos before. There are other videos on this channel, although it's been a while since I've been in the habit of making them. But I've never made anything of this kind of more serial nature. I'm actually going to save with that one in there, just because the thing's right here, so why wouldn't I? And so in terms of sort of like the flow of episodes and things like that, you will have to bear with me. I believe there was something down here, but it may have just been like an energy cell or something of that kind. But I'm hoping it was another keystone. It wasn't. This is probably where people are going to get quite frustrated because, like I say, you know, you probably saw all of this just a couple of days ago. Wait, this is where we beat that boss. Am I seriously? You seriously telling me that I just walked away without getting this keystone? Yep, I'm a dummy, I think is the... And the other thing that I need to warn you about is that I can feel a sneeze coming on. So prepare yourselves for the possibility there's a sneeze in your immediate future. It's actually just sort of, you know, sitting at the end of my nose, in that way that they do, teasing me. You know, it's a tease of a sneeze, and I want the relief. You know, I want that release of letting the sneeze go. But it just evades my grasp. You know, it's like you know when you get like those weird little like floaty wobbly bits at the edge of your vision, and then you kind of try and look at them, but of course they're not actually there, and they just keep moving away from you. That's what it's like. It's like I'm, you know, if you could see me now, I'm screwing my face up and actually moving my head forwards in order to try and capture the sneeze, to rein it in and really take ownership of it. I'll tell you what, I think what it really is that I don't like that it's controlling me. You know, I want control over the situation. Yeah, I run into those spikes. That's stupid. Oh, it was even more stupid. So I believe probably the reason for oh, excuse me, I have something of a tickle in my throat. If you'll just give me a second, I'm gonna take in some liquids. So hopefully that'll clear things up. I believe the reason for the elusive sneeze situation is of course the time of year, and I have been getting a bit hay fevery recently. For any Americans watching, probably just call that allergies. I don't think the word hay fever gets used in America. I could be wrong. And somehow every year around this time, I forget that I have hay fever. Or I don't forget around this time. Around this time is when I'm reminded. Be the clearer way to say that. But I managed to forget in between Aprils that I have it. And then it comes around and it always surprises me. And of course, it's not a nice surprise. It's something of a disappointment. But you'd think, it's something I've had my whole life. That's my 26th April, this is. An ancestral tree, Liru, lay here. What? I can't say any of these names. She was swift, agile, used to cut through... Now, I'd like some clarification. Did she used to cut through the air, as in previously that was how she behaved? Or was she used to cut through the air? Was she actually used as a tool for someone else to cut through the air? Please be more clear. Yeah, it's my 26th April on this earth. I've had hay fever for, as far as I know, every single one of them. I'm a bit hazy on the first few. Don't remember those that well. You'd have to ask Mama Smith. But every time I somehow manage to forget, and then kind of catches me off guard. Oh, the blobby Spider-Man is creeping on me. So we've got the double jump. Of course, a standard of all Metroidvania games. You need to have the double jump, and I like it. I actually tend to find, I may have mentioned this before, I don't know, I'm probably just repeating myself. That's good, isn't it? A few episodes in, I'm more repeating myself. I like the traversal abilities in Metroidvania games, because I am almost a purely mechanics-driven gamer, TM, and I tend to find the traversal mechanics are the ones with which you sort of just add to your basic toolbox, and then mechanically just make the game kind of freer, and it also increases the difficulty and complexity of level design that's possible. And then yourself. And some of the challenges, platforming challenges and stuff, they can get more creative and more challenging when the designers know that you have the extra traversal mechanics. Some of the others, it often to me feels just a little bit like you sort of press a button to do a thing that you couldn't do before. Like you have the thing where the charge shot, you can now get through. You can get through walls that you couldn't get through all those before. Well, okay, that's fine, but essentially all I'm doing is just pressing a button, and the game is doing something which it didn't let me do before. And I know technically, yes, I'm pressing jump again while I'm in the air, and the game is letting me jump, which it didn't let me do before. So, you haven't got to be like that. I think you understand what I'm saying, and actually, you're being kind of willfully obtuse about this, to be perfectly honest with you. I was really just trying to make conversation. And the other thing you've got to consider is that, you've got time to sit there and formulate your response, whereas I'm trying to play the game while I do it. So, you're being really unfair. Well, okay, that's scary. But yeah, I like those because they feel the most... Bugger. They feel the most fundamental to me. They feel like the most fundamental mechanical additions to the game. Which is very much in line with my preferences. And I know people enjoy games for different reasons, and I'm not hugely well versed in the Metroidvania genre, I gotta say. Although I do like it. I like it as a concept. I actually think I like it, potentially like it as a concept more than I like it as in execution sometimes. And I suppose that it really just comes... I suppose you could say the same thing about almost anything, though, couldn't you? Because any good idea needs to be executed on well in order for it to feel worthwhile. And sometimes I suppose it's just a case of whether you're in the right mood for something. I tried playing Hollow Knight once, a game which many people consider to be one of the best in recent years, and among kind of modern classics of the Metroidvania genre. Didn't do a lot for me. Potentially that could be, I do intend to revisit and give it another go just because of the sheer level of praise that it's received. Potentially that could be one that we do on the channel, maybe. If that would be something people might be interested in watching. Because, actually that is... I was thinking about this recently, and I was sort of thinking about what it is that is offered to the person doing... Oh, there's a map here. I didn't know. I completely forgot that we had a map fragment and a stone for it to go in. So, tell you what, let's save, because it's nice. It's nice to have the old map unlocked. I was thinking about what is offered to the person playing the game, and remember with the sneeze, we got away scot-free. I say scot-free. It's not actually gone entirely. I think maybe it's just a case of we just have a slightly itchy nose. And I misread it. I misread it as an incoming sneeze. I'll get to the end of my sentence at some point. Don't worry. Okay. So we've reached the next boss. This one's actually proving to be considerably harder to best than the previous. What is going on, Ori? Why will you not grip onto the wooden plank with your little light pulls? Okay, that's just rude. I did this once. It's because I'm being a complete dummy, because I believe last time what I did was sort of use the extra spinny thing. I'll be honest, that felt exactly the same to me. But anyway, it worked. And I'm actually going to save here just because no one wants to see me flail around like that again. I made a promise, didn't I, to get to the end of my sentence, and I haven't really come through on that. So I was thinking the other day about what is offered to the player of the game in a Let's Play environment such as this one. Now, okay, there's the obvious. You get to play a game. You get to play a fun video game, which is a good, enjoyable way to spend your time as, an adult person living in the world with actual responsibilities. And there is, I suppose, also, and I think probably this is probably applicable to a lot of people that make videos like this. You want to play a video game because you like them, but there's like something you sort of feel like you have to be doing something, like doing something worthwhile or productive, if you want to use a word which I sort of am growing to hate. I think that is definitely... Oh, no, I'm going to die. I didn't die. You have to give me that. So there's that element to it, I think. That is a benefit, You get to feel slightly better about the time that you spend doing something because, you're sort of creating something, and especially if you're actually any good at it, which one day I may be, with any luck, you might entertain a few people as well, which is a nice thing to do. Why did I do that? What? Let's just kill myself and start again, because that'll actually be faster. But actually, for me, a big draw is that I tend to have a certain kind of game that I tend to end up playing a lot more than others. And there are games that I want to get to, that I hear good things about, that I'm interested in playing. And, these more sort of single-player experiences. When I play single-player games, I play a lot of roguelites. I like, that is a style of game that really works for me. But I also end up just playing like a lot of multiplayer things. And it's very easy, especially that sort of like match-based multiplayer game, they're incredibly easy to just continue to play continually. Match after match. There's nothing wrong with that, of course. But I tend to... We just did the same thing again. I actually don't know how to do that section. Can I just fall down? Because I feel like my second jump isn't enough to just like fall down here and then make it. But it doesn't matter because we got the thing anyway. Don't have enough energy, and I've just wasted all the energy I did have on that. Oh, I get them back. I get them back, and okay, that's good. Oh, we have 2 points. Let's spend those now. Map markers. Do we want map markers? Most pickups show up on the map. I suppose it would potentially give us some direction. Allows Ori to also use dash in the air. Requires double jump, charge flame efficiency. Except I don't have dash yet, so... Because allows Ori to also use dash in the air. It makes it sound like I'm going to... Dash is something that I need to unlock. I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're gonna get the map markers. And we're going to get the life pickup. That's always good. Survivability is always good, as we talked about before. So there's, there tend to be games that I'd like to get to and experience for myself, but often just end up not giving the time, not putting the time in that's required to beat them. It's not even necessarily because I don't... Okay, that was ill-advised. And it's not even necessarily because I don't enjoy them. But for whatever reason, I just sort of struggle to really focus on just playing a single-player game for myself. And the other thing is, I'm a bit of a bugger when it comes to these things. For, the kind of Googling around a lot. I get to a choice in a game and then I feel like I want to Google around and make sure I get the right one and maximize everything. And I sort of end up actually maximizing the fun out of a lot of these games. Now, what am I doing here? Because I feel like I can't get down quick enough. Does that make sense? I can't sort of follow this down fast enough in order for it to save me. I mean, we can try. We can try again. No, there's definitely there's a short animation there where I sort of stop pushing. So I don't think that's actually right. But this definitely has to go down there, right? Why would that be designed any other way? Can I, knock it over and... Yeah, I understand that I can grab and move objects. What if I keep holding on to it? No. I'm interested as to what I'm supposed to do here. Yeah, I'm a bit of a bugger when it comes to those kind of things. I'll sort of Google around and always... I don't engage with the game on the level that it wants me to engage with it on. I think that's probably the issue. But in this environment, of course, I'm not going to do that. I mean, okay, Ori isn't really a game where you need to start necessarily, and other than to maybe look up where you want to go if you get lost. Although, again, getting lost and sort of figuring your way around a map is kind of part of the joy of a Metroidvania. So I think for me, it actually sort of encourages me to engage with a game the way it really is supposed to be engaged with, which is to say, to focus on it, make decisions for myself. Those kinds of things. And I think that is potentially the appeal for me. So, let's... Oh, there was a... Nope, that we did explore that way, but there was definitely another avenue that we didn't explore. So let's go and see what that was all about. And we might also be able to fill up enough energy to get that door open as well. That block that we were pushing around definitely looks like it needs to be like turned around or something, because it has the, you know, the blue like jets coming out of it, which look like they might do something. There's a lot of lanterns and a lot of spiders around, and I know that one of the abilities is like, oh, I held the button too long. You can use the lanterns to like dash through them. I think that's the dash, isn't it? So I feel like maybe that's what we're going to see. This feels like the right way to go. Can you remember this guy's name? Newman? Was that what it was called? I could have just completely made that up. No, a Gumon. I remember because I thought it kind of sounded French. Le Gumon. Oh, est-ce que le Gumon? Yeah. Thank you. I actually am a fluent French speaker, so I trust that you don't need me to prove it any further than that. Oh, I've now realised that actually the second jump is quite far. Yeah, we had that question earlier. Well, I think it was probably just me that had the question about whether you could make it. I wanted to go up and get that energy thing, and the Gumon distracted me. Touch of petulance there from me, I'll admit. Let's get that open. I'm actually going to save. Always feels like a good idea to save when you've seen one of these little cutscene thingamajogs. Okay. Soul Link is ready again, which is nice. Yeah. I think you deserve that, honestly, because look what you've done. This is... I don't even know why he hates me so much, you know? That's what hurts about it, is I don't know why... He just hates me by nature of who I am, I suppose. I suppose he wants to keep the forest in its current state of despair. Yep. That's a shame. I mean, you have quite a lot of health in this game. It's not really too much of a problem. Oh, an act of kindness from Ori. Ori's, honestly, far too wholesome for this world. If the Gumon is not going to be my friend now, well then. Ori brought kindness and hope to his heart. Oh, thank you. I've recovered the water vein, an ancient gemstone that will grant me access to the entrance to the Ginzo tree. You see? Remember, the element of waters rests high atop the Ginzo tree. We shall bring back the waters. Let us return immediately. Alright, calm down. Don't rush me, dude. Look at all this stuff I got to pick up. Have you seen this? Do you remember about the map? Because I didn't. I mean, I got an upgrade and then immediately forgot that we even got it and didn't use it. You see, just small acts of kindness, and a lot of these bullies, they're just misunderstood, and they just want someone to show them the kind of kindness that they feel they've been missing their whole lives. And if you do that, you know, they often will give you some kind of trinket. In this case, it was a magical gemstone that grants access to a Ginzo tree. You know, don't expect all peace offerings to be quite that good. You got to set some standards. You know, sometimes it's like, it may be a child that in the playground offers you their Kit Kat or something. You know, but the thing is, it's still a nice moment, and that's really what you have to understand. Is the thought that goes behind it. There's a sentiment there. Of course, in this instance, again, it's actually more than sentiment. It does allow Ori to continue on her quest to save the world. So, you know, there's slightly larger ramifications for that. But if that doesn't teach you that, you know, you should be kind in the face of adversity, I really don't know what will. I've taken a lot of unnecessary damage there. I think we can all agree that I really needn't have taken so much damage. Again, jumped into that dart. Actually was going to miss me. I've made the job of the enemy a lot easier. But then sometimes the enemies make my job easier because I can use their abilities against them. So I'll save my game. This warpable well thing. Let's have a look at our map. We're trying to go up here. Objective is to enter and restore the Ginzo tree. And we have these gates. Are these gates mostly just to sort of unlock the map and make it more traversable? You know, because there's potentially the game has a percentage completion. I mean, as you can see, each area even has a percentage completion. So we've done 31% of Thornfelt Swamp, 64 of the Moon Grotto. But I'm guessing that's going to include collectibles and, you know, getting all the cells and stuff. Not something I'm interested in. If that gives you anxiety as a person, you know, without being too dismissive, I don't care. That was, yeah, I mean, that's actually about as dismissive as you can get. I suppose what I would say is play the game for yourself, because I feel like the satisfaction of 100 I feel like the satisfaction of 100% in the game comes more from the doing of it and the knowledge that you did it than it does just knowing that it is done. You know, what does it matter to you, really, if I 100% the game? And I'll tell you now, I won't be 100% of the game. I'm not an achievement hunting 100%er, platinum hunter, whatever. Pick your parlance, which is a phrase I don't think I've ever said before and I quite like. So, yeah, probably won't be doing that. But, you know, to each their own. And I, of course, extend to you the courtesy that I'd be happy if you 100% of the game in the way that you wanted. So please understand. I don't really care that much. I mostly play games to overcome mechanical challenges. That's what I find to be satisfying. That tickles my brain in a certain way. You know, I would, I'll admit, like to have more of an appreciation for storytelling in games. And it's not to say I have no appreciation for it. But I often just sort of leave things unfinished and don't actually see the conclusion of any stories. I also generally don't tend to find a huge amount of the story that compelling. Yes, we do need to go up. Okay, I feel like we've been here before. With this, you know, we have actually been through this part of the thing before, coming the other way. But now we need to go back up in order to get to our next objective. These guys... Well, that was a much more efficient way of dealing with them than just spamming the attack button like we've done in the past. I think we can all agree. Okay. That hurt. Let's... You know what? We don't need to fight every enemy. You don't always need to fight. Sometimes you can, you know, take the hero's approach and run away. I think we're probably about to enter the Ginzo tree very shortly. And we've been going for about 30 minutes, which seems really just very serendipitous for a nice little breaking point for our episode. So here we go. Let's insert the water vein. And we can now enter the Ginzo tree. We'll do that before. The waters of Nibel once flowed through this very tree. Now it's all rotten and dried up inside. We shall restore the flow. The Ginzo tree's heart we must find. Okay, yeah, well, I mean, that seems like a perfect place to end an episode, doesn't it? So, thanks very much for watching. Click some of the buttons underneath the video if you want. And, yeah, I'll catch you in the next one. Thanks very much. Bye.